ITV Evening News with Mary Nightingale.
Good evening. Boris Johnson appears to be on the verge of breaking one of his key election promises tonight in order to tackle the crisis in social care. The Prime Minister could confirm tomorrow that national insurance contributions will be increased to raise an extra £10 billion, having publicly pledged not to raise the tax. Breaking that pledge will anger many of his own MPs. Forcing workers to foot the bill will infuriate many others. But as our UK editor Paul Brand reports from a care home in Luton, urgent action is needed.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Are you all right?
Yeah.
David Mosley's only recently had to move to a home. It will soon be the only one he's got. First, his wife June's care depleted the family savings. Now he's spending £3,800 per month.
That envelope has probably got 10, 20, 30 years memories.
From today, they'll have to live in a box. This afternoon, his daughter-in-law had to put his house on the market.
How does it feel to have to be packing up all of their belongings?
Heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. They've worked all their life for this to just be get rid of as quick as possible so we can pay for your care. Shouldn't be.
Which is why tomorrow we expect the government to announce a cap on the amount paid for care, possibly £80,000 per person. The plan is to fund that by increasing national insurance by at least 1%, raising between £10 and £11 billion per year, but costing someone on the average wage just under £200 extra.
Are you breaking your promise, Prime Minister?
The answer is both yes and no. He did promise to fix social care, but also not to raise national insurance.
Are you comfortable breaking manifesto promises?
Cabinet members like this one are apparently not, with anger from many that the youngest and poorest may suffer most.
It's deeply regressive. Someone earning £250,000 will pay a far smaller proportion of their income in national insurance than someone earning, say, £30,000 in my constituency of Rosendale and Darwin.
Or back at David's nursing home, where carers on minimum wage will be among those paying more to fund their own work.
Because we've all worked so hard as well, right through everything, you know, it's like we're being punished for it, so it's not on.
So you don't think it's the right way to fund
Definitely
this?
not, definitely not, no.
What is definite is that care needs more funding. However painful, someone will have to carry that burden. Paul Brand, ITV News, Luton.
And tonight, the Health Secretary has announced the NHS is getting an extra £5.4 billion to tackle the backlog caused by the pandemic. And our health editor, Emily Morgan, is here. So, Emily, explain, what's this going to go towards? And I suspect I know the answer to the next bit, which is it going to be enough?
Well, I think whether it's enough really depends on who you speak to. I mean, the government will say this is £5.4 billion over the next 6 months. Which is extra funding, new funding. £1 billion will go towards trying to clear the backlog, more than £2 billion for infection control and more money for day-to-day costs. And it does mean that the NHS has been given £2 billion to try and get the waiting list down this year alone. And, you know, it would be disingenuous not to accept that this is, you know, new funding, so it's good news. But it doesn't go anywhere near what many experts are saying will be needed to really clear the waiting list. The Health Foundation today has said that it would take £17 billion to clear them in this Parliament. NHS providers have said the NHS will need around £10 billion a year to cover COVID costs. So this is way short of that. And anyone that I've spoken to in the NHS, in the service, says the only way really to avoid the waiting list, getting to 13 million, which is what is predicted, is proper funding, and I'm not sure that's quite what they were talking about today.
Okay, Emily, thank you. Now, business leaders have...
So who's funding the stalkers all around the world? Big question mark. If local council get involved and they use a family court protection, who's paid for all the overt and covert operators? Who's paid for the equipment? Who's paid for the hourly wages? So that's what needs to be investigated, TIs. If your local government stroke council establishment try to get court order on you and try to use the family court of protection. Yeah, the stalking and all that kind of stuff that TRs are exposing. Yeah, because in the end of the day, you say it's been exposed. Yeah, they're there to cripple people's finances. Just like that, the pensioners that we've just seen in the care home in the news clip. Yeah, and that's what Coventry Council is trying to do. That's what Gerard's trying to do, going out in his last song before he retires. Yeah, and so what social workers are trying to learn about family court protection. That's why they're so desperate. And that's when the sector workers and the ones like doctors, psychiatrists and all their covert operators, over operators who've ever used, yeah, they all just want to learn what the old brigade did back in the day. What a palaver, what a carry on. Everybody digest it all, psychoanalyse it all, and look how much the NHS and the council sectors are wasting each year. And a lot of it's all being siphoned off by these sector workers, management, and collaborating, conspiring other organisations that aid and abet them in the local council, linked to the local council. Yeah, from what TRs expose each time: firemen, police officers, armed forces people, mercenaries, NHS, plastic wannabe moles, yeah, and then that network of local people who know, established families in the know. So everybody, take care, have a good evening, over and out. And TR story before we go, this is on the local Coventry news, on the UK mainstream media, ITV News, Channel 3. So everybody, over and out, take care.